I'm just pulling up your stream.
I was. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Jackson Jills, to the Weekly Echo podcast. Look back at the matchups of the week, happenings around the league, and notable player movements. I am your host, Monsieur Demouy, and on our panel tonight, we welcome back Andy of Infinite,
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Shepard of Flair,
Hey, y'all, how you doing?
and my friend, my teammate, and my captain, Venom of Nova.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
So that is our panel for tonight, and so one of the things we're going to be doing tonight, trying out a little bit of a game where we are going to be comparing the predictions made by Andy and Shepard here. They'll be earning points for that based on like how correct the predictions was. They'll get a point for correcting the right team, and then they will also get a point for correcting the appropriate number of games. There will be no points for getting it wrong or basically claiming either. And then how that'll work out is at the end of the night we'll tally up the points, and whoever wins will tomorrow on the forward echo we'll be bringing in somebody new. We don't know who that will be yet, but somebody will be coming in and challenging the winner from this week for next week's games. And then that has a whole thing going on, so I won't get too deep into that. But that's how this is going to work out. So they will be playing for points. Their answers are already locked in. I've had them up on the Discord all week. And so without further ado, I think it's time to move into the games from the week. I don't know if there's anything else I need to go over before we start here. But coming up, so for last Tuesday, the first game of the season was a bit of maybe a shocker for some. Team Joker versus Infinite. Oh, I got to get my graphics. I forgot. I got graphics now. Or I had them before, but now they are... I have them all loaded up and ready to go. And that one, of course, did go to Joker. I'm not sure how many games that was.
Was it 2 or 3, Andy?
No, it was 2.
2?
It was 2, yeah.
It was 2.
We lost in the second. Yeah, it was a pretty close game in the second game, and then they took it away.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I guess that's where we're starting. Anything else?
No
to say
points
about it,
either.
Andy? Just a rough start, really. I mean, it was the first game. I think we kind of had some of that first game nerves associated with how just being the first match again of the season. Like, we're the first team live. You know, there's going to be 40, 50, 60 people watching, and definitely came in with some nerves, a little bit rusty, which showed through. Our boosting was terrible. I felt like almost the entire time. And then once we finally got into the second game, we got seeded. Everything started kind of getting in a row. Everything started getting working. And they were just able to take it away. I mean, super strong team. I'm interested to see what they're going to do because I know they lost their second game against Kangos, I believe.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking forward, though, to what else they have to put up. They're just a super fun team to play.
Yeah, both teams are really fast. You guys are both fast-paced teams, so it's kind of cool to see you guys play on those.
Yeah, we haven't played against Dash either yet on that team in that roster, so that was also a different addition to seeing how he was going to work in.
But man, do I ever feel those first game of the season nerves that you're talking about?
Oh yeah, first game jitters.
Definitely. Yep. They're a real thing.
Absolutely.
And White Fox in chat asking, are these current matches? These are basically, it's just pubs that are happening right now, using as the background there. That's what you're seeing. So something to watch if you're like me and you have a hard time listening without watching something at the same time.
I'm being called an old man, and YouTube's asking why my voice is so deep. Because this is my actual microphone, and the audio codecs and the audio quality for VoIP in game fucking is bad.
And so just to the predictions from earlier in the week, both of you had Synapse in 3. That is 0 points to both of you there. So nobody in the lead as of yet. So now moving on to the next, we are only covering the NA games. We won't be covering the European games, so no offense to our European brothers. Just got to keep this within our realm of our sphere of influence here. So the next game up is one dear to me and Venom's heart. That was Spaghetti versus Nova. Going to Nova. I believe, did we do that in 2? I think we did that in 2.
Oh yeah, we did. We did it in 2.
And yeah, Points total 23-15. I know I felt really good about that. How did you feel about that one, Venom?
Yeah, it was a pretty. They're a unique team as far as like how they've got a brawling play style. So I mean, the way Wypern plays, yeah, he hit us hard. I think he got over 50 stuns in just 2 games. Um, uh, I Blow at Sports had a ton of saves that game. He played really well. So, quite honestly, I'd probably give him the MVP of that match. To be honest, he played really well. But no, I mean we did good. I think we had some clears that we need to clean up, but most of it we did pretty good on our brawling. I think that's kind of what saved us brawling back. And then you guys, my teammates, did phenomenal. A lot of saves, a lot of great defense, pass work, everything. So I'm happy about it.
And
Yeah, you have to say you guys
tend to
really
agree.
showed up and showed the passing skills and all the practice you guys have been putting forward. It
Mhm.
was not what we predicted, but you guys definitely should. Actually, no, we did predict you guys to win that one. I was
Hey.
wrong.
Well, on that point, you did each pick Nova, but you both picked Nova in 3.
3.
So that is 1 point apiece to each of you. But Andy, I don't know if you had anything you wanted to say about that one.
No, I just other than congratulations on your guys' matches this week. You guys stepped up a lot, showed up
You definitely
how
did.
much further you guys went up in the skill in the off season with your scrimming. You can see kind of what happened with Spaghetti too. They didn't scrim through the off
They
season.
also
and you can
lost
see
one of
how
their main
hard they got.
players.
They did. Who'd they lose?
They
I didn't
lost
notice that.
Ow.
Oh yeah, that's
I
right.
did not even notice that. I've seen him still active in Discord. I didn't even think he was gone.
Who did they replace him with? I can't remember who they got.
Let me look it up because I can't remember either.
Is it Mini Hat or I Blow at Sports? Maybe that's who it.
I think I Blow at Sports was the sub. and stuff.
It
I'm
was
not
I Blow
sure.
at Sports.
Yeah, I think that's who
Okay.
it was.
You're correct.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, well,
they're stun heavy team, and I mean,
Very.
getting past kind of like that tilt barrier of you said he had 50 stuns, which I think
Absolutely.
when we played him, I think he had 50 stuns as well. Just
Yeah,
it-
and quite honestly, I think a lot of people were expecting more. We did a pretty good job blocking a lot of their stuns, so kudos to my team there too.
Definitely helped you guys in that matchup.
Yeah,
And definitely kudos to our team captain for seeing us through it and keeping us level-headed when we sometimes get a little in our own heads there. So now moving on to the next matchup, and that was a point apiece to Andy and Shepard. Now moving on to a more
Ignite and Nova.
negative.
Oh, we going there?
No, we are
I'm
not.
skipping Kang and
Galaxy?
Spaghetti.
You're also skipping
mentioned
Galaxy and
Reboot.
Reboot,
Galaxy.
buddy.
I thought those were
Yeah,
European
you're
teams.
way ahead.
Why did I
Oh,
think those were
wow,
European teams?
Shepard! Wow.
I
If any
am
of those,
Reboot
if
and
any of the
Galaxy.
players from Galaxy or Reboot are watching right now, make sure you hold that over his head because that
I
was
apologize.
not
I'm
a cool
sorry.
thing to do, man. Okay,
Nah.
no, now
It
that
happens.
girls you
I'm
enough
so
about
sorry.
it. So yeah, that one did go to Reboot over Galaxy. Galaxy is a new team here of Chucky, Joseph, Death Creeps, Furcar, and Cam Jam at the time. But Cam Jam later, excuse me, is that yes, Cam Jam was on Galaxy. But we'll address that one later because it was later in the week that he left the team. So we will come back to that. But yeah, and then Reboots, 17 charged, Ditman, 5-spotted dog, Neon, Zentuition. I don't know. How would you guys think about that one?
I think that's probably about how we expected it to go. Actually, the score is a lot closer than what I would have thought. I think Galaxy probably held a little bit more of their own. I don't remember what I predicted for it. I think probably I
We
said
both
Reboot.
said Reboot in 3.
You both said
Reboot
Reboot
in
in 3, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like the website.
It wasn't 3.
Was it in 3?
It wasn't
How
3.
can you
I just
tell?
looked at it.
It was.
You go to
That's
the
accurate.
It wasn't 3.
I'm on the match page.
Hey,
So
Do
you
you guys
hover over
know?
the score on the team roster,
Huh?
and it tells
So
you the score.
I know
for each
Death
round.
Creeps on this team. Everyone else on there, are they newer players? I'm not familiar with like Chucky and Furcar and Block.
I'm not familiar with them besides just seeing them in pubs. I don't know how many games they have played, and I've only
Okay.
seen them recently.
I mean, that's pretty good though to take them to 3, take Reboot to 3, and being newer players. And I know Reboot, there are a lot of newer players too. I think they were previously combat players, but it's a good thing to see from both teams.
Yeah, they're another one of the beer league gang, and I was helping coach them, and it's you can see the amount of work. Like it'll be good to see like how they continue to progress though. See what Ruby's going to be able to do, and especially Galaxy. I think they have a lot of young talent. I think I forgot who I was talking to, maybe Far, saying how a lot of these kids that are younger, how when the game progresses and the competitively keeps going, where they're going to end up being, how they're going to kind of just be like that new kind of Joker esque kind of kids. So it'll be
Mhm.
interesting to see. It's kind of a strong start for him, so definitely nothing to kind of
And
look.
don't
to.
worry, Zux, I will.
Absolutely. And reboot, I think just some of their I think the only weakness that I really noticed out of them is they need to focus a little bit less on their clears and try to maintain a little more possession. But other than that, they played very well in my opinion.
And before we move on, Shepard, you're gonna have to point to where you were seeing how many rounds were played.
Okay, so I'm at the overall match page. I clicked on the reboot or Galaxy there, and I just hovered over the score on the team page and clicked on that, and it shows you the points per round. Poor Dimly.
Boomer working
It's
tech
right
over
there.
here.
if I'm gonna be honest, it feels that way right now.
That's funny.
Hovering over points, I
You
got
take our
nothing
word for
popping
it.
up, man. I
You
got.
gotta,
gotta
click on it.
click
Click on it.
I click on the points.
Yeah, like a 1922.
I got you.
Yeah.
Wow.
There we
There you
go.
I had no idea that
Wow.
existed. I do feel a little bit like a boomer right now. All right, so
I
that
knew
is
you'd get there eventually, my guy.
that is 2 points apiece to Andy and Shepard for both getting that one right. Reboot in 3. So now you are both up to 3 points. So moving on now to Kang versus Spaghetti. And yeah, interesting matchup there. Well, how did you guys feel about the outcome of that? I would say I do believe you both got that one correct.
Yeah,
That was exactly how expected. That I think
more
it
or
was
less.
20-0 and then 24-4 were the two games.
Correct. 20
Yeah.
0,
So-
24 to 4.
Yeah, that was kind of what we were expecting. The fast pace that Kangos have gone in with their more recent changes. You don't see that slow Kangarooless start really anymore. Where in preseason we saw that. So
No,
coming
definitely
forward
not.
into it, it just looked like they started out super strong. Did they have an own goal? Was that the game where they had the own goal, or is that their other game they played?
I think it was the other game because it was a 3,
They-
if I remember right, wasn't it?
Yeah. The classic Kangaroo special, throwing it back into their own goal. But
Yeah, it was against Joker. I feel like they've done that against Joker before too. I could be wrong
No,
on
it was against Eclipse and
Is that who it was?
season 2 finals.
Oh, okay.
they've done it enough times to make it like almost a trademarked move by Kangos at this point.
I mean, when you're winning games 44-4, though, I think you can accept 1 or 2 every now and then.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah, especially they're a veteran team too. So I mean, they go in having all these
and the
players.
season 3 champions. So
Absolutely.
All right, so what I did just now, I apologize. The reason I went silent, I added a link, an invite link to the Discord here. So anybody listening, if you want to join the Discord, you're more than welcome to. That's also if you look on the stream, there's an address under the Echo, and that is also an invite link that you can manually type out. But if you just want to copy and paste one, I'll work on getting a proper push to go link for the panels underneath the stream in the future. But right now, that'll work. Go ahead.
As Palador just pointed out, that was Metameric's, not Kango, in the season 2 where they got their own goal.
Oh,
but
is that
Strem
right?
was still
Okay.
on that team, so my point still is valid.
And so was that so I believe that's another 2 points to the both of you, bringing you both up to 5, so still tied as we move on into our next game, which was Nova versus Ignite, which I got to be honest, this one is an exciting one for me personally.
That was an exciting one to watch.
That was a fun one to play. Absolutely.
I believe it. We both predicted that Ignite would win, but that's just because Ignite has been a consistently very consistent team. But you guys definitely showed how much practice and work you've been putting into this, so hats off to the both of you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Hats off. I mean, you guys showed up, and it definitely seems like Ignite has just kind of struggled going into this, like their first 2 matches, where I know like in the second match they're playing a newer team and they were kind of getting everything going, but it still seemed like they've just kind of had this like slower pace. So
they have the flare syndrome.
They're going to progress.
We choke our first matches.
Yeah, but I mean, congratulations, you guys. I think if you guys keep that pace coming through, you guys are going to absolutely just start to throttle through the midfield.
Thanks. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to me, I think they're a very well-rounded team. They're great on their jousts, their chains. They play a possession game very well. I think they adapted to us very well as well. I mean, you saw game 2; they came back with a vengeance, and it took us learning from that game, keeping our heads cool, coming back game 3, and just playing our game. And I think that was probably the biggest factor there. So communication was also very great on my team as well. So I love that.
Yeah.
And it's-
Also, to clarify real quick with chat, they're asking, did Nova beat Ignite? They did beat
Absolutely.
Ignite, and
Yes,
to
we did.
late toast as well. They were actually practicing a lot. We had a lot of 2.5-hour scrims actually with Ignite throughout the off
We
season.
had a few as
They've
well.
definitely been practicing. Yeah, they've been out and about. I've been seeing them looking for scrims everywhere.
Absolutely.
And just on that point of how Ignite came back in that game too, they scored. The score of that game too was 19-7 in favor of Ignite. Decisive win, so decisive that the total score for all 3 games came out 34-30 in Ignite's favor. So yeah, that shows kind of the how easy it is for some of these games to swing in either team's favor in this game of Echo Arena.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, the titular example will always be Illuminati getting mercied in game 2 of the first best of 5 series in that finals, and then coming back to win it. So it just goes to show how easy it is for the score to kind of slip out of your hands there. But just one more comment on that series. Just my big takeaway was, despite the fact that we lost so handily in that second round, if you were in our comms, you would not have noticed. At no point we were calm and collected, and it didn't phase us. And that, I think, it was the one of the bigger points I took away from it, and was proud of after the fact.
Yeah, I think it hyped us up even more. Actually, we.
Oh, I believe it. Especially
Yeah.
that save game we got.
Oh my god, that was phenomenal. Yeah.
For sure. All right, so moving on, because now we are
No points to either of us.
So yeah, no points. Moving on now to Guinness versus Reboot. Oh, what?
Didn't we? Do I get a point for getting in 3 rounds?
No.
Because I said
Okay,
Ignite.
okay,
Nah,
I see what
No,
you're
no.
saying. I see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying, because I didn't specify when I outlined it. But I think in the spirit of the rule
Come on.
is
Come
you get
on.
1 point for getting the team right and an extra point for getting the rounds right. I should have phrased it like that. Because kind of getting the rounds right is kind of a shot in the dark. It's kind of a luck thing, I mean, there's an argument there. We don't have to have the argument right now. But we'll just say that's the ruling.
All right,
And
moving
move
on.
on from there. All right, so next up, Guinness versus Reboot. Guinness with White Fox, who is from Beer League, and then Reboot, also a team, a lot of players from Beer League. And I was excited to see this one. And Guinness did take that one into 8-6 and then 14-6, 22-12 overall. And let's see what you guys gonna have to.
We
dig
said
through
Reboot
this.
in 3. Oh, no. Guinness in 3.
The Guinness in 3, so that's 1 point apiece, going up 6-6, tied after this game. So what did y'all think about that one?
I think I watched the first match of this and then I had to leave, but it was still, I mean, in between both these 2 games, just like looking about how they ended up doing over throughout the week, Guinness definitely has kind of like that step over Reboot. So definitely interesting. 2 teams to kind of keep an eye on. Reboot definitely improving. I hope they got a lot to learn out of it, and some good matches to come.
All right.
That match, it was interesting to watch. It went about as I kind of expected. Both newer teams, but Guinness has a bit more established players almost in the competitive scene, with Reboot just being a full bunch of new people who haven't really played on the main roster, versus Guinness, which has people who have subbed in and played and been here and there and just been around for a very long time as well. So, and I've played with White Fox a lot. I played with Mojali a lot, so I know how well they play and exactly what their strengths and weaknesses are. So it went about where I saw it going.
All right. So with that said, we can move on now to one that Shepard may want to just move us through quickly. Orbit versus Flare. That one going to Orbit into 20-6 and then 10-8. Orbit, a team I think surprised a lot of people during the preseason with how well they performed. And both of you picked Flare in 3, so both of you wrong on 2 counts for that one. So 0 points to both of you there.
I cry on the inside. pre-game jitters, those nerves that really got to us. We couldn't get our heads in the proper play space, and we just didn't play as well as we can play as a team. Hats off to Orbit, though. They played phenomenally, even with a substitute and Altered, who hasn't played a lot, but still they played very well for what they had, and we weren't up to par. So good job to Orbit.
Who subbed for them? Was it Rocks?
It was
Yeah,
Rocks.
Rockside. So I mean,
Ah,
that's
okay.
definitely nothing to shake either. I mean,
No,
Rocks
it's
is
Yeah.
a
not.
really good player to have fill into those shoes. Like, it's not like they
Mhm.
went down in skill level having a sub from that.
Absolutely.
And it also adds like an element of kind of randomness. Like, they just kind of threw the dice and they ended up getting a sub.
Yeah.
You don't really know what's coming because you've never played against that, and they don't really play together. So
Mhm.
you kind of get this random. It's not as kind of defined of what you think is going to happen and where you think people are going to be.
Yeah. How do you guys scrim them in the off season?
Not really. Maybe
No?
once,
Okay.
very early on in the off season. So
Yeah.
it was
My
not a
team,
whole lot going
I know we've noticed a lot. Like the first time you play a new team, it's getting used to their play style. It can sometimes
is.
be some trouble. So yeah,
Definitely.
that stuff happens.
All right, so now moving on to one that Andy, although this one's considering this was against the North American champions, a little more forgiveness on account of this one, but Illuminati versus Infinite, going to Illuminati in 2, and I believe you both. Well, Andy picked Synapse in 3, and Shep. The best I could figure for your prediction was either in 3. So I think we're gonna have to go with no points to either of you.
I got
yeah.
the 3 right.
But a very close game though. That second game coming
was a
down to a
2.
minute.
Oh,
Yeah, it wasn't
I got it
2.
wrong on all
Come
accounts.
on, man.
I'm paying attention.
But yeah, so very very close games, well fought. But Andy, how'd you feel about that one?
Big sad.
Big
Big sad
sad.
sums it up.
Did you cry?
Dude, it was so close. The first game was by a 2-pointer, and the second game went into OT.
Oh,
And
man.
we blew a 4-point lead in a minute, and they earned it. I don't know what else to say. I mean, they're a good team. Again, I think I pointed out they have the like one of the best mental. I swear to God, because they got mercied by Joker in the finals of the preseason, and then they still came back and they won. Like, it just doesn't affect them. So like, no matter how far they're down or what time they have, it just doesn't affect them. So especially going against them, we have a lot of just review stuff to do. I feel like we finally kind of got back up onto our feet. Kind of that maybe some of the complacency from coming out of preseason with how our performance was. But I mean, they're fun to play. I really look forward to playing them again. Hopefully the MMR ladder isn't too screwed up now. See how everything gets
The
seeded
MMR
out.
ladder is going to be interesting next week.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Illuminati, those guys, I think the one thing to take away from them is that they're a very fast team, but they also play very controlled. They're very good with their passing, which can be very dangerous. So
Very very good with her.
take on it.
Definitely agree with that point. All right, so moving on, the next matchup here, Milk versus Wireless Jacks. And I got to be honest, I was a little surprised with the outcome. Not that Milk is a bad team by any stretch, but just how Wireless Jacks been together for a little bit now. Played all through preseason. Only the one change on their roster, picking up Blitz in the offseason to replace for Lemon QT.
My boy, Lemon.
And so yeah, that one goes to Milk in 3. And I have to dig around for this one here. Milk versus Wireless Shacks. Andy had Milk in 3, Shep Milk in 2. So that is 2 points to Andy, 1 point to Shepard. The first deviation now.
Ooh, let's
Between the
go.
two, as Andy
Rat.
takes the lead by 1, 8-7.
There we go.
So
And
yeah,
the answer chat. I am pretty sure that is ice cubes in the milk cup. For
It
the
is
logo.
ice cubes in the milk cup.
They're disgusting. They are filthy animals.
Heathens. They should be burnt at the stake. Like the heretics they are.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to a rematch against these two. I mean, Wireless Jacks are fast, and Milk they've shown a really promising roster. I didn't get to see too much of this game either, but I watched a little bit of it again, just kind of in and out while I was doing homework. And I'm excited to see this, like, especially where Milk's going to be going. I can kind of already see where Wireless Jacks is going because I've been around all the players enough, but Milk seems to have a really interesting roster, and they just seem to just kind of have this climbing rank through the midfield as well.
Are they a pretty brawl heavy team too? I can't remember the last time we played them. How that
We
went.
scrimmed them, and I don't think they were that brawl heavy.
I
Like
know
I
that they're
didn't.
quick. They do have a pretty good chain
Yeah.
that they work. Yeah. So compare that to Wireless Jacks. They've got a ton of different, like, very unique rollouts that have really impressed me so far this season. So, good to them.
You know, they have one play in particular. I will not call it out, but I've always been a big fan of it, and I love seeing it every time they roll it out, and very effective with it. All right, so that is again 2 points to Andy, 1 point to Shepard. As we move on now to another big matchup of Titans here, Joker versus Kang. That one going to Kang in 3. So Joker versus Kang. Let's see what the scorecard says. We've got Andy with Kang in 2, Shep with Joker in 3. So it looks like Andy's going to be picking up one more point from that one.
Let's go.
And that will be Andy in the lead now, 9-7 over Shepard. Shepard, how you feeling about falling behind here?
I bring shame to my family.
Yeah, it was a big matchup between these two teams. I was on the. I think I came in near the end of that cast, so I missed a good portion of the first half of it. But it was well fought. Joker, to me, pulling out formation passing like I've never seen them do before. Usually kind of meta breakers and settling very comfortably into what is considered the part of the meta currently.
What can I say? Kang played very well that match. It honestly shocked me when they pulled out ahead there. I was not expecting that. So hats off to them for sure.
Yeah, I'm happy for Kangos finally.
So am I.
They had a ton of losses through the preseason too.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Their defense was insane throughout the entire game. Like just how they were playing, they were on one.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Yeah.
Definitely came back from the preseason for sure. Coming back strong, absolutely, against Joker. Very, very tough team. So definitely a big shock seeing them come forward like that, but absolutely great job by them.
All right, and now moving on to the next matchup we had Instinct versus Chaos. Instinct taking this one in 2 fairly decisively, and both of you had Instinct in 2, so that's 2 points to both. So Andy maintaining that 2-point lead here, 11-9 over Shepard. And Chaos was that team in preseason, Cakester and Dano, that had trouble keeping the rest of the roster, but they do have it nailed down now with Curry in a hurry, and I am now drawing a blank on their other player. I can pull that up real quick.
Curry in the hurry, Dano McFabulous, Cakester.
Bravo.
Yep.
Barufo.
That's kind of, I mean, like, yeah, it was like how we expected that game was going to go. Chaos finally seems to have a roster settled in, which is going to be good for them to just finally get that synergy and progression forward. This is Instinct 2 on the old roster. I wonder how the game would have gone. I mean, like, I know it still probably would have been a win, but now Instinct removing Dollar and Zeus from the team.
And then,
they just seem to have massive success with that still. So,
real quick, notable was that Dollar left the team shortly after this win over Chaos here. It was a 35-8 win, and I did reach out to Kavichi, the captain of Instinct, to get a comment on that, and he was polite enough to provide a fairly professional response on it. And this is a direct quote. He says, "There's nothing wrong with Dollar and his playstyle. We just didn't have the chemistry we hoped for. We wanted to light a fire under ourselves, and this was one way to do it. Spank and Cruisin have played together a long time and already have the chemistry that we have. Awesome. Want to see how having 2 decent goalies works out. It seems to work pretty well for us on Nova, with me and Essen both playing goal. But continuing on, the concept of giving the position to the hot hand on any given day seemed worth evaluating, along with the versatility of playing elsewhere for both of us." So, yeah, so it seems like no ill will there between Instinct and Dollar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Chaos. There's one thing I want to say is that just keep your heads in the game. Keep working at it. I know when we had just picked up, Dim as our 4th, and our first several matches were tough, just kind of getting that chemistry going, and it's gonna be a little rough for a while, but once you get things down and get the passes right, I bet that team will come along really well.
And just real quick in chat, Dollar is here. He says, that was fun. They made a good choice with Cruisin and Spank. And, excuse me, my cat is making all sorts of noise in the background. They are going nuts right now. Of course, the moment I get on the mic, they got to start fighting.
As they do.
Yeah, so just to throw Dollar's word in there for him, everyone can hear that. And the one thing I forgot to do, I was going to put the chat overlay over the video, and I forgot to do it.
Yeah.
But anyways,
But I mean, that's a good outlook. It's nice to see that Dollar isn't too upset about it, and understanding that it is competitive play. Like teams are going to swap around. You can look at EU, how often they just literally just trade people.
Oh, wow.
All the time, just like cards. They're just passing people. Like they'll just make trades mid-season, like they did during preseason. So I mean, there's endless opportunities. There's so many teams that are active now, and people looking for subs, or even a lot of active roster spots if you're trying to grow with the team. And yeah, agreeing with what he just said in chat, actually, league subs can still be fun as long as I can sub. You're still a good enough player. People aren't going to like turn you down or anything or look for other subs.
No.
So
No.
you're good players with that, and as long as you just keep moving with that team play mentality coming forward, and you'll find somebody else in a different home to go to.
Absolutely. Unless Rox is available, it seems like he's been a pretty common sub lately.
yes, he has been played for a couple teams now already this week.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next, we have Milk versus Nebula. And Nebula is a new team, not new faces. Choco Lit, Kaznaz, Sweet Tooth, and Late Toast.
Dimwit.
What's that?
Really quickly, you have, for me, either. I did not say either. I said milk in that prediction.
Did you?
Ooh.
Yes, I did not go with either. I said milk will win that.
All right,
Got it wrong.
Shep
Do you have your proof?
Go
Alright, so
back
here's
and
what
watch
we'll
the
do.
Here's
Here's what we'll do.
preview.
Here's what we'll do. All right. So we will give the 1 point to Shepard for now. All right. And after we're done here, if this 1 point does make a difference, I will go back and check. If it doesn't make a difference, we don't have to worry about it. But if it does make a difference, I will go back and check and make sure that you are that yeah, this is the fair call.
I think that's fair.
So
And
we
was
will
that
say
in
Shepard
two or three
has.
rounds, so.
Excuse me. What did you
Was
say?
that game in 2 or 3 rounds? Because I said, I don't know what I said for that.
I was in 2. It was Milk
Okay.
in 2.
Well, I probably
versus
didn't go
wireless
around on
jets?
that. No, Nebula.
Oh,
Nebula.
oh
yeah.
Nebula.
So
Okay.
we'll give you the 1 for now. I'll go back and check. If you did say Milk in 2, I'll give you another point. So we will check after the fact. But for now, we'll settle on 1 point. Yeah, 1 point to Shep. So you're still down by 1, 11 to 10.
Did we
That's
skip a
okay.
game though?
Skip a game.
No.
SSVC Legends and Galaxy.
We're not there. What?
Oh, yeah, you did.
Where?
Shame on you, Dimwit.
Where?
They're
Shame
both
on
at the
you.
Gotta
they're
keep
at the
track
same
of
time. They're at the same time.
Oh, how did I skip that?
I don't know.
For shame.
Oh, I did it out of order
Shame.
in my OBS setup. We were going to be
Shame.
going to SSBC next.
I guess that makes
I
sense.
did do
Okay.
it out of order.
I'm just looking at the matches page.
That was another one I sought out a comment for. But we'll go, yeah. On the matches page, I don't know why I did them out of order. But yeah. So, all right. So we will go ahead and move on to this one, SSVC versus Galaxy. And SSVC taking that one in something. In 2. 20 to 24 to 4. Galaxy being a relatively new, a brand new team. That's the team of, I believe that's Chucky Joseph, Death Creeps, Furcar, and now Grief was Cam Jam. Unfortunately, shortly after this game here, Cam Jam did leave Galaxy. I did reach out to Chucky Joseph for comment. And it's not that he didn't say no comment. I just don't think he ever got back on Discord. But since I sent him that request, so I would say could not reach for comment. But yeah, the big change there. They lost Cam Jam and picked up Reef. But yeah.
Oh.
Wait a minute. This guy's in a pub right now. You're broadcasting, sir. Ah,
Thank you,
Somebody's
Duller.
gotta
That is funny.
Thank you,
somebody's got to
Duller.
go berate them. But
And
I
you
probably
both
did
did.
mention
You
it.
both called Legends in 2, so that's 2 points to both of you.
yeah, Legends
Yeah.
just has a strong roster.
They
Like,
really do.
I'm
They
keeping
really
an
do.
eye on them. Like I want to see how they're gonna do. They aren't messing around, and I mean like Galaxy's just got to keep their they're the kids. They're the group of kids that are running off having some fun. I keep hearing everything about Death Creeps. I even saw Pally in chat talking about Death Creeps, and he definitely seems like somebody to keep an eye out for. Somebody who's going to be clawing his way up in the ranks.
He had a surprisingly good game. against SSVC Legends. He had a lot of good steals, good defensive plays, and I think he got a couple goals as well. At least one
Good
goal,
for him.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
But for anybody listening, SSVC Legends, that is a team of Lasho, Captain Canada, Skyla, also known as Sheila, and Single Shot.
Sheila.
Shield.
Yeah, the C is pronounced like an H in his
Is that right?
native language.
No,
I am
no,
full
it's
of
not.
That
it.
is
but-
Dan Wade
Okay,
being a
I was
troll.
gonna say
That
that
is-
is troll me, isn't me?
That is completely false.
Okay.
The goat. Yeah, I always get these clowns, Zucks and Ducks / they always come on my stream every single time, and I see Death Creeps #1 on A. But it's been a copy pasta going around the whole group now, or the entire community
Oh
coming
man.
around. So.
SSVC is just, yeah, it's their name's abbreviated, but they did it in the wrong order because it doesn't roll off the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been SSCV.
Right.
SSCV.
It's so
or
much
just-
easier to
just stuck
say
with Legends.
SSCV.
Dude, just go
But
with
now-
Legends.
Now we're forced to. We could have said SSCV, but now we got to call them the Legends. I think it was planned.
Right.
Probably
You know,
planned.
Yeah, these guys though, they're a good mix of 4 pretty good teams that they all came out of. Because what was that? Blasters from Rampage, Canada's from
Captain
Inverted.
Canada was not in
Inverted.
preseason. He was
He-
out.
yeah,
for
he
a
was
while
not.
He was
there.
going to be, and then he left. And
okay.
Talk about
Then they
somebody who
got-
got the warmest welcome back too, by the way. Quick sidetrack. But anyway, continue.
Atlas Megacorp for Skyla, and then Ironic for. Did he play the whole season with Ironic single shot? I can't recall.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
But I'm not sure.
No, he did not. He did not.
he did not. Either way though, all 4 of these guys. I mean, they were great players on their own teams. I think all together they're going to be a very strong team.
Great
coming up.
defensive and offensive
Mhm.
from them there. It's going to be really interesting to see how far up they go.
Absolutely.
All right, so now moving on to the next, we have SFF versus Space Force. Both new teams and not new players. SFF is Zucks, Brennan Cecil, Ducks, and Solid Shot, who we just saw in a scrim less than an hour ago. And then over on Space Force, another new team, not new names. You got Lanzan, Aeronite, Anime for Life, Ender's Lot, and Pyro Polar Bear. Another strong roster there. But it was, SFF taking it into 14-7, 16-7. And I'm going to have to dig around again for this one. SFF versus, where are they at? Did I not write it down? Uh-oh.
We're being corrected in chat there.
Oh, there
You
it
did
is.
write it down.
You both picked
But we're being corrected in
SFF
chat.
in
Single
2.
did play all season
He did.
long.
Okay.
Oh, he did? All right, good to know.
Yeah, it was Subtlety who didn't play all season long.
Gotcha.
S, you know, they're all the same.
Yeah, so that is 2 points to both of you, as you both called SFF in 2 over Space Force here.
Yeah. SFF's a strong team. They're definitely not somebody you can, slack around on. They're fast. They've got the jukes. They can
They're
hit
punch
shots.
heavy.
I mean, yeah, punch heavy as well.
Yeah, and they're very good at dodging around everyone else.
They very
around
are.
them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all right. Moving on to the next, we have Nebula versus SFF, and Nebula again. Just a reminder. So that did go to SFF in 2, and Nebula again is at Choco Lit, Kazna, Sweet Tooth, and Late Toast.
I'm pretty sure I also said SFF for this one, not Nebula.
Yeah, I'm actually
I
pretty sure
have
you
you
did.
down for
'cause
either.
No, I did because it was a thing for
You
me
did?
and Andy after.
Because yeah, I got memed for it.
Yeah.
Everybody was just like, "Oh, you said it was the other one. You suck." And I know Zux is in here clowning on me right
Yeah.
now.
I did say
Flash
it
is
was
clowning on me.
SFF.
Yeah,
SSF.
eat
I
it.
did
Yep,
say that.
Yep.
You did?
So
Yeah,
So is that
100%.
are we gonna go with 1 point, or do you think you got it in 2 as well?
Can't recall, to be honest.
All right, so we'll do another one. So this is so that's 2. I gotta look. All right, so SFF versus Nebula. What was the other one? I already forgot.
Was it Milk?
versus Nebula.
Milk versus Nebula. All right, I gotta go back and check both of those. All right, so if that is the case, I do believe we are back to a tie here. Andy with 15, Shep at 15.
Ooh.
Duller already confirmed me for the previous one. He went in chat and he went back and apparently
Oh, did he?
confirmed it. If you scroll up in the Twitch chat there. I checked. Shep did say milk.
hey,
Did you check?
There you
Did
go.
Shep say milk in 2 or 3? That's
he,
all right. It's okay.
He didn't
It's
say
okay.
round.
You might not have, because I
did
know
you
there
do
were a
your
few
job
times
while
we
you
were
were there?
We were,
I probably didn't say round, to be honest.
we were flying through there a couple times. I kind of had to figure it out.
Hmm.
To be fair, so because I didn't get like a for sure like do you definitely mean this, like, which we will I will make sure we do that from now on
Oh
Mondays.
yeah, absolutely.
So that was Nebula and SFF. So we got another one. This was the only challenge match on the week, and a big win here for Shepard. Flair versus Chaos. Obviously, no prediction for that one, as that was a challenge. And Flair taking that one handily into 20-0 and 22-4.
Man,
For a challenge match, we reached out to every single person that we could challenge and just sent them a message. Chaos got back to us saying, "Let's do it."
I will say that's true. I got one for sure.
We reached out to Ignite
Yeah,
as
there
well.
were a lot of questions about this. People are like, "What's going on here?"
We just reached out to every team that could be challenged, and they came back to us and said, "Let's do it," and we want to go.
Hey, you know what?
I mean,
Props to
I guess
Chaos
props
though
to
for
them.
taking it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. I mean, they kind of had to go into that knowing they're about to eat it a little.
Yeah.
But
And I mean, the only thing I'd have to say about this, you guys played phenomenally. I think Chaos still played really well, but you guys
absolutely.
sank like 3 or 4 super long threes. It just made it, I don't know, a really tough challenge for them that first game. And I think it got in their heads maybe the second game, and just, that would be a tough comeback.
So, Venom, when are we challenging each other?
I don't know. We're gonna have to figure that one out.
hey, we can challenge you right now. You want to go? I'll get
Oh,
the
man.
restaurant.
Let's do it.
Let me talk with my team first, and then we'll figure that one out.
Okay.
All right.
Were you
Moving
talking
on.
to me? Am I inputting here? I don't even know what happened.
I don't know, Dim. Do you want the?
I was prepping for the next team. I don't know what happened. What happened?
Yeah. Let's go. Let's move.
Are we challenging Infinite?
Okay.
Is that? Didn't I say I
No,
wanted
let's
to
move
challenge
on.
Infinite?
How about we move on to
I'm
the next game?
predicting Nova.
I said I
in
wanted to
two,
challenge
Nova in
Infinite.
two.
Venom, back me up. I
Nova
said it.
obviously in two.
He said it.
I said it. I said let's maybe we can challenge Infinite.
Oh yeah.
over the scrim
Actually, he
tonight.
did say that. He asked if we'd set up a challenge with you guys, but
I was kind of thinking about it, but I don't
I'm
know
not sure.
if it
Just
would've
with it
been a
being
wise
week
decision.
1, I kind of just want to see how the next couple
Hey,
weeks.
Mills, you
play
guys
out.
still in
Yeah,
chat?
no, I
Let's
feel
go,
you.
buddy.
Yeah,
Seems
you
like
always get away.
Shepard
Yeah.
challenged us.
All right.
Okay, all right.
Shepard is not old. Shepard's a zoomer.
All right, so I guess all right. Moving on to the next game, another one: Illuminati versus Orbit. Interesting fact, although both Illuminati and Orbit were in the final series, they didn't actually see each other in the final series, as Orbit lost to both Synapse, now Infinite, and I'm drawing a blank. Who was it? Joker. So they did not have an opportunity to see Illuminati, and they hadn't
See
seen each
Jason, let's
other
go.
since week 2 of preseason. This is the first time they've seen each other in that long, and that was a 2-0 victory to Illuminati over Orbit. And funny thing here is I have you both claiming Illuminati, but I'm fairly certain Andy never actually claimed in how many games. And I'm not sure how to do that one. But it's definitely a point. And
Yeah, I'm not
everybody's
sure.
silent.
I'm not sure, but this actual game, just like talk about it real briefly. Orbit almost won with I think what they had Rotitan again, and
Rotating, yes.
yeah, and Droid, and Illuminati had a sub. Who?
Rock.
They
No,
subbed
Illuminati had Rock
I know.
Titan.
Yeah, Illuminati had him. I had that
Yeah,
wrong.
who
Who did
have?
Orbit have?
I don't. Crap. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I
Hold
didn't
up.
get to watch that match, unfortunately. So
I'm on about to cast it.
I feel like they pulled rocks.
I did cast it. I can't remember. No, Rox was playing for Illuminati that night.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
In that
Okay.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing it
Who
this
did they
morning
have?
or this early afternoon.
Oh, that was today. Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember. I watched it though, and it was.
I casted it. I even made a point of like pointing out, oh, Rox Titan isn't on Illuminati.
do we have a new boomer on our hands here?
I've been waiting to say this, and I just blanked now.
They're saying
But-
Mizuchi. They're saying Mizuchi.
Mizuchi,
Yes,
they
it
had
was Mizuchi.
Oh.
Thank you, CJ.
And
The
I
last guy I was expecting.
And now I
and
remember that
he
because
did
usually,
all right.
excuse me, usually because Mizuchi's a goalie and Blenders isn't playing goalie, so I was curious how that was going to work out. And they had Blenders stay in goal. And Mizuchi had some amazing defensive stops in that bubble in that game. I do remember that.
Yeah,
Chrome,
but
shut up.
Orbit still like they almost won. I felt like watching the
Mhm.
games, like it was still close enough. Where I mean, like the score at the end shows 24-18 or 24-15 Illuminati, but it was still close. And I mean, they kind of had subs on both sides, whatever. But I mean, Orbit's still almost pulling a game out of Illuminati, and Illuminati being able to
Mhm.
kind of tie it up towards the end.
Orbit
And
was playing really strong this week.
yeah,
Yes, they were.
yeah, they definitely kind of
especially
took me
with
off guard.
two of their players being say they're out currently. We'll just say that. And
Mm.
yeah, so definitely strong performance from a team
Mhm.
with a team with two substitutes this week. But now we're closing in on the end here, so we'll go ahead and move on to another one that Shepard will be familiar with. Here is Flare versus Instinct.
I don't want
And,
to talk about it.
Just as a reminder of who's on Instinct here, we have that's Kavichi, Conor Chaos, I'm Not Zeus, Cruz, and Link One and Spank. And yeah, what you're saying you don't want to talk, but you gotta say something.
Oh boy.
And that was Flare, and
Okay.
that was Instinct in 3, even though Flare got the overall goal score 30-26.
That match was interesting one. We probably went in probably a little nervous, probably a little overconfident, in all honesty, and we really shouldn't have because it bit us in the ass. They played really well. Their new roster with Cruisin, an amazing goalie, and Spank, they have chemistry that they've been building on since they've played this game. They've been playing together for so long now. Absolutely hats off to them for winning that match. It was a very fun match, very competitive for most of it. It was a lot of fun. They played really well. We couldn't get our heads in the game. Same story with us. But they won. So
Yeah.
GG guys, good job. You guys they played very well.
I thought it was a very even match. You guys both played very well. They just happened to pull, a couple more points ahead. But yeah, you guys did really good job.
And as far as predictions go, you both had Flare in 2, so that's going to be 0 points to both of you.
In our defense, we made those predictions when they had their previous roster.
Yeah, that's fair.
That is true.
That's fair, but
That
the
is a big
points-
factor.
I'm
Doesn't
not
change
salty,
anything.
White Fox.
Sounds like a factoid. That doesn't change anything.
I'm just old and decrepit, according to Ducks
Boomer.
and Zucks. I'm not a boomer. You're older than me, Andy. You're older than me.
All right, so moving on now.
I'm older than you? Or
Yes.
What? I'm 21.
Fuck.
Sir, this is a good Christian podcast. Please watch your language.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm kidding, of course. Okay, so moving on now. A game, an outcome probably anybody could have predicted here. And of course, that's no offense to Genesis. Ignite versus Genesis. Genesis, a new team. Kind of an awkward sort of matchup here to put them up against Ignite. And that is H Money, Jay Tabaka, Caden, Knife Rich, Keith, and Mozzie. I believe their roster tonight was with Mozzie, Knife Rich, Jay Tabaka, and H Money. That did go 2-0 to Ignite, 16-0, 15-6. And yeah, you both called that one correct. So 2 points to both of you.
Yeah, that was a tough matchup.
It was.
Yeah.
It's tough for Genesis, but it kind of goes back to.
Oh no.
I'm trying not to laugh at this chat.
Oh no.
Chat has gone wild.
I'm pretty sure we just spawned a new copy pasta.
Uh-oh.
So Genesis though,
done?
they're kind of like a pub star team almost. Like they've kind of more recent players that have come up, and I only see them in pubs, and I know they'll private com pubs a lot, and they'll kind of do that kind of stuff. But I think a lot of that showed where they just need to try to figure out the competitive meta, and they kind of got a tough seed going on against Ignite. Like that's rough for a new team.
They had kind of a rough issue with I think they had a couple crashes that game with was it Jada Baker or Jadabaka? Yeah.
Yeah, however you pronounce it or however he wants it pronounced, but that's where we were kind of joking, saying he was on the McDonald's Wi-Fi and it kept kicking him off. But apparently he's been having crashing issues, which just doesn't help.
Yeah.
They got one reset and then he just kept dropping.
Yeah, unfortunate.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at what you're saying. I'm just laughing at
I know.
this
I can see out of the corner of my eye the salt emojis everywhere with Old Man Shepard. DJ Salt.
I don't like this.
Oh,
All right, so go ahead. Moving on now. to our penultimate game of the first week here, and is that the Wireless Jacks versus Space Force. This one going to Wireless Jacks in 2, and I'm gonna have to look around. Here we go.
We both said Jackson
both
2.
said Jackson 2, so another 2 points to both of you here. And yeah, what did y'all think about that one? Just a couple hours ago.
I
don't think I actually
was
got to
out
watch it.
scrimming. Yeah.
Man, it was such a good game. Wireless Jacks played so well. Their rollouts were perfect. I mean, they were fast, hit a lot of good shots. Space Force played well, but I don't know, my boy Jack or my guys on the Jacks team, they played phenomenal.
And just another reminder, Space Force is the new team of Lands and Aeronite, Anime for Light, Ender's Lot, and Pyro Polar Bear. And just a fun little deep cut tribute for you. I played on a team with Ender's Lot in ESL Season 2 for 1 day. So it was just a fun little
day.
It was me, him, and Hasco played on a team for 1 day. Our first game, which was my first competitive game, which did get cast, was against Eclipse.
Mm.
Yeah, you want to talk
Sounds
about
about
nerves?
right.
You want to talk about
You
nerves,
have the
man?
luck that I do.
That was that was my
That's
welcome
feels good.
into comp, and it's been it's all been downhill from there, or uphill.
Applebee's not
It's all
all
been
good.
good. It's all been good since I don't know how to phrase it.
Yeah, that at least mine wasn't casted. I think it's probably like my third game in the ESL. I was playing with Docs and Owl City, or I forget what his other account was, but like the second game I ever got to play, I got to play against Synapse with Caption Zach or Ender even. Might have even been Ender. I don't remember now, but they just were like scoring headbutt goals on us, just absolutely clowning. But it's kind of interesting to see, like looking back on how all the old DSL stuff was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so for our last one of the week, Chaos versus Genesis, and those scores just got submitted, and it did go Genesis in 3, which I got to be honest, find a little surprising personally, just knowing who is on Chaos, and particularly Cakester and Dano, not bad players. And certainly not saying Genesis is bad either. I mean, H Money, all those guys played with all of them in pubs, but again, yeah, a little surprised that one goes to Genesis in 3.
So I want to know what the total score is, though.
Total
It
score
was a close match.
24 Genesis.
Yeah.
I mean, I
So
caught
11-9,
the end of that
7-8,
match. It was
10-7.
really competitive.
Good.
I caught the very end of that.
I'm glad for him then. I mean, that's a close match, and they definitely had the tough seed going in with Ignite.
I think we did
and-
skip at SSVC versus Guinness, didn't we?
Did we?
Or did we
Was
brush
scores not
over it?
submitted?
Did we? It's possible. I think we did.
If the scores just got submitted, White Fox just said that.
Yeah, I think we did. All right. So okay, we'll come. Yeah. Anything?
That'll
else
be
to
the
say
last
on
match we talk about.
Chaos versus Genesis.
Very competitive, really fun game to watch. Both teams played really well.
Yeah.
I
Unfortunately,
only
I
caught the
missed out
very
when
end
we
of
were
it. I
scrimming.
only caught the end of it, so I only got to see the half of that third match. From what I could tell, it was a really close game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know,
apologies to. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, Chaos again, new team. These first couple weeks they're probably gonna have just some tough matches where things just aren't going their way, but I think they'll smooth things out and hopefully start coming up with some wins here before long.
Hey, Chaos. Was it Guinness and Legends talking about? Or is it
No,
Chaos?
Guinness and Legends is the last one we're going to talk about. That we skipped.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Gotcha.
All right. So on that note, we will go to what is now the last matchup here: SSVC Legends versus Guinness. That did go to Legends in 2, and hopefully you guys picked different things here. So this is easy to know. You both picked Legends in 2.
I mean,
and we will address.
You're
the
gonna have
points
to go
here in a
back and
minute,
watch this.
But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go back and watch for
we're
a
gonna
couple
go
different
do your
reasons.
job.
So,
So anticlimactic.
but yeah, what y'all think about that one?
I think
I didn't get to watch it.
probably- Yeah, I didn't get to watch it, but judging
It
by the
was-
scores, looking at it, that's probably.
it
how
was
we
at
were
the
saying
same time
Legends
of one
are
of my
just a
matches, so
strong
I didn't
comp.
get to.
Yeah, I didn't get to see it. That was during my scrim as well, so
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch.
Sorry, White
but-
Fox.
Yep, sorry, didn't mean to blow that for you. Also, real quick for Lanzan, I hope you enjoy your match tomorrow when we get seated. Since we're at the same MMR, and he's saying it looks like a full MMR reset. So
It might have been a full MMR reset, but the tiers still exist.
I know. If the tiers still, I want to see what they do.
Yeah, I'm kind of
I wanna
curious
see.
to see how that washes out
It is-
once
it-
everyone hits 3 games.
Who's ready for the Flare versus Infinite matchup that's going to happen?
Hey.
Hey.
Dude,
I'd like to see it.
I've been predicting Nova versus Infinite next week for how many days, Venom?
He has. It's been
Couple days.
I don't know, a couple days for sure.
Couple days. So that's where that's the only one I'm willing to put money on. I am very confident we're going to be seeing Infinite next week.
Dude,
I hope we do.
fun.
Yeah,
ready.
I mean, the situation we may have lost 2 out of our 3 games, but we're still position number 1 because we played 3 games.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah, because it goes by points.
Cheater.
Yeah.
You
Yes,
don't
it
count.
does.
Cheater.
Cheater.
It's not the real
Cheater.
ranking.
Cheater. Yo, everybody in chat,
Game in
report
the
Shepard
system.
for exploiting.
Boomer
Excuse
cheater.
me? Excuse me?
no
such thing. I cry.
Oh man.
Yes,
I'm gonna drink
hopefully,
myself to sleep because of you.
So with all that being said, right now I'm not really sure because particularly looking at the Illuminati
stop it.
Orbit game, because I have Andy picking Illuminati but not giving a set number of games, so that would be 1 point. And if that's the case and everything else we've gone over is true, it would be Shepard by 1 point. So
Yes.
we're definitely going to have to go back and double check the calls from Monday to make sure we get that right. And yeah, so how this is going to work? So if we'll just behave as if Shepard is the winner on the week, and so that being the case, how this works is
Suck it, Andy.
tomorrow night, Monday night on the Look Ahead on the Forward Echo podcast, we will need a different challenger for Shepard on predictions. So if you're interested in Venom, that could even be you. We'll see. We'll see what's going on tomorrow. But anybody else who might be interested in doing that, as I said at one point during the podcast, there is an invite link in the what do you call it? The cards or the panels down below the stream here. You can copy paste that, throw it in your browser. It should throw you into the server here, and then just express that you'd be interested in guest spotting to challenge Shepard tomorrow night. And how that'll work is you guys will make your predictions, and then you'll join us the same way Venom is joining us tonight. Shepard and Andy will be back on Sunday, the both of them, and along with whoever it is that we get to guest spot tomorrow, and to go over that. And then anything that happens after that, we can cover down the road. So yeah, so I think that's probably going to about do us. Give some time for everybody to plug their stuff. Andy, if you want to kick us off with a little plug.
Yeah, so hopefully coming up here, we're going to be working on trying to have a more consistent stream schedule. You can find me at AndyW. You'll just see me in the Echo filter if you guys look in that. Try to get something going more frequently and trying to get some webcam gameplay as well. Add that into the mix.
And
That's all I got to shout out.
Shepard, you got any stream or YouTube or anything you want to push?
I stream semi inconsistently. I plan on doing it more consistently again once I fix my computer because it's been crashing recently for no discernible reason. But y'all know my Twitch name. I'll just type in chat so you can find me. If you ever want to see a boomer struggle with video games. Salty old man. In your words, you know where to find me.
And of course, Venom. I think most people are aware of your YouTube channel, but go ahead, plug your
Absolutely.
YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter, or whatever else you got going on.
Yeah, I don't stream too frequently, but definitely go check out my my YouTube page. You can just find me at VenomxVR. Might have Echo Arena in the search bar with it, but yeah, you'll find it there.
Can't beat him, join him.
Please
And of
subscribe.
course, the only thing I have to push is this podcast itself. And if you're already listening, obviously I don't need to push that on you. This is my own. This is the Sir Dimwee channel. Of course, this will be uploaded to the Echo YouTube channel tonight. Whenever it'll be up, whenever as soon as I can get it up. So yeah.
Hey,
so,
if you're chilling in here, give him a follow.
Yeah. I appreciate any follows, anything like that. And if you happen to catch the YouTube channel, any subscription, do they call them subs on YouTube, right? Subs. Yeah. Subs on
Yeah.
YouTube. All that good
I
stuff.
mean, you can sub to Dimwee on. You can sub to me on Twitch because you can't sub to Dimwee yet.
Not yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Get it.
But yeah, so I think that'll do it for us tonight on the weekly Echo. Look forward to us tomorrow night on the Forward Echo, and of course this is under the umbrella of just the Echo. that may at first seem confusing, and if it continues to be confusing, we'll look at changing some of that around. But so I hope to see some of you tomorrow night, probably at I believe we'll shoot for 10 p.m. Eastern. If there's no games, we'll be hitting that one as hard on the nose as we can. And if there are any games that interfere with that, we will be premiering sometime after the last game of the night. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. I have been Sir Dimwee. That was Andy W. of Infinite, Shepard of Flare, and Venom of Nova. Thank you all for joining, and have a good night.
Bye, y'all.
See you guys.